Hey, and welcome to VanBuild. Let's jump right into the first step in installing your Arctic Tern window, which is going to be removing any minor structural supports that are in the way of where you're installing it. We used a pair of metal shears for this to reduce the amount of cleanup, and we used a heat gun to heat up the factory insulating glue just to make removing the supports a little bit easier. Next up is cutting out the hole for the window. You'll need to make a template to trace onto the van to know where to cut. Then apply painter's tape roughly around the area of your template to prevent scratching your van's paint as you cut. Then trace your cut line. Keep in mind as you're cutting the window that you can have about a 1/4 inch of wiggle room here. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but try to keep your blade on the inside of the trace line as you can remove more material but can't add it back as easily. You can see here that we're adding pieces of tape along the cut hole as we work our way around, both to reduce vibrations and to catch the piece of sheet metal once we're done cutting it all the way out. And congrats, you just cut out a giant hole in your very expensive vehicle. Here we're just going around the cut line with a metal file, more like 1.5 metal files, so that you free the surface of any burrs as well as dulls the surface so you don't accidentally cut yourself while you're handling it. Make sure to vacuum up any of those metal burrs or shavings. And then now we're going to go ahead and remove the clamps that held up the window jamb along the inside of the cut hole. You'll need to install the window jamb for this installation as mentioned. You can make this yourself, or you can purchase a window jamb made by Satsang VanWorks, which is what we did and made the process so much easier. We used a 3M adhesive glue to adhere it to the van, and make sure you let it cure for about 24 hours with the clamps on. And now that it's cured, we can install the window. Now, for installing the inner window frame, you'll need a magnetic screwdriver because there's a gap between the inner window frame and where the screw fastens. We applied Loctite anti-seize lubricant on the screws before screwing them in to prevent them backing out over time. Also, your window will come with 2 lengths of screws, and the one you need to use will depend on the depth of your wall and window jamb. It's important to make sure you use the correct size screw because using the wrong size could cause leaks. Also, make sure you don't over-tighten screws more than 50 to 60%, as over-tightening could compress the window too much, which could also lead to leaks. Make sure you check out the installation guide that comes with your window because it contains all of this information and more to ensure your window is installed properly. Thanks for checking out our Arctic Tern window installation. All the tools and materials that we used are linked in the description. And if you're interested in more like this, we also have other videos on van window install related things.